Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I thought of doing a weekend vlog, so this is a simple weekend vlog showing you what my routine looks like on a weekend. Usually on weekdays I'm quite busy with the kids since they're at home now because of the coronavirus. And so it's difficult for me to film on weekdays. So here I am getting my hair untangled and brushed up for the day. I generally tend to get up before anyone else does because that helps me stick to a routine for myself. I also make sure I eat my breakfast before everyone gets out of bed so that I can eat in some peace, and that also energizes me for the rest of the day. I quickly brush my teeth and then I use a gentle facial cleanser to cleanse my face. I'm not much of a makeup person, and therefore even when I'm going out I tend to stick to the basics. I hardly use anything on my face and I prefer the natural look compared to an artificial one. The only cosmetics I tend to use are talcum powder and a little bit of lip gloss, especially if I'm going out. The last time I used heavy makeup was on the day of my wedding. Ever since then, it's been very light makeup or no makeup at all. So here I am meditating on the Word of God, the Bible. It helps relax my mind, and I also do some silent praying before anyone can get up and make any noise. This helps me thrive and helps me face challenging and tough days with ease. I then heat up some breakfast for myself. I usually have rice for breakfast because I feel it keeps me fuller for longer and gives me the much needed energy to do the day's tasks. So here I'm heating up some rice, some leftover fish gravy, some carrot poriyal and some cheese. After becoming a mother, there are very few days that I get to eat peacefully like this, and I really enjoy those moments. Otherwise, I'm always called to do 1,000 things by each one, and I even forget what I was trying to do next. So while I try to finish my breakfast, my daughter wakes up and comes out. She's the eldest, and she's not much of a person who likes to sleep, so she generally tends to wake up earlier than the others. So here we just enjoy a small conversation while I finish off my breakfast. Then it's off to washing the dishes. I try to clear up the sink as and when possible and to not pile up any dishes. That makes it look more appealing to work in the kitchen. On weekdays I have help, but on the weekends I have to do the dishes myself. Sometimes, however, I do end up stocking some of the dishes for the next day. Usually, I'm very energetic and love to keep doing things one after the other, especially if I'm motivated mentally. But these days, with the coronavirus and everything that's happening around, I'm a bit mentally down, so I find it a bit challenging to push myself to do things. I'm just making breakfast for my mom. Today it's going to be dosa with some leftover fish gravy. I'm not sure if this combination is common or if you've ever tried it, but it's amazing and I love it. I start with the kids' routine and I'm brushing my elder daughter's teeth, and in the meanwhile everyone is waking up one by one. By the time the elder one is done, the younger one is in. I'm just getting my earrings on and my younger one has already brushed her own teeth. Her hair is a complete mess, and so I start combing it to get it all off her face and to secure it neatly in a pony. A lot of people have advised me to cut short my kids' hair just to make it manageable. But I remember the old days when I wanted to have long hair and my parents used to cut it short, and I would feel so awful. So I decided to grow my girls' hair and let them decide at a later stage when they are mature enough to make decisions as to what kind of hairstyle they would like to maintain. Now I'm just trying to clear off my elder one's hair as well. She has a lot of tangles and it's quite difficult to get it sorted. And usually I prefer to put her hair up in a bun because she sweats a lot and has sinus issues. The weather here is extremely hot now, almost 50 degrees Celsius, and it's very difficult to stay without sweating because the kids keep running around all the time, and despite having the AC and the fan on, I would notice that my daughter still sweats so badly. Maintaining their hair does take up a lot of my time, especially on days when I need to give them a hair wash. But I enjoy doing it, and so I have not yet given up on the dream of growing their hair as long as possible. Now it's breakfast time for my husband and for the kids. For my husband, I'm making dosa, and for the kids, I'm going to heat up some idiyappam because they requested for it. They like to eat idiyappam with scraped coconut and sugar. I generally don't give them sugar, but once in a while I do let them have it. I now start serving breakfast for my husband, which is dosa with fish gravy. I then prepare the idiyappam for the girls by sprinkling some scraped coconut over the steamed idiyappams, and then I just sprinkle some sugar. I've never made idiyappams from scratch, although I do wish to try. These are store-bought ones and are ready to eat and just need to be steamed. Today for lunch, I'll be preparing Chicken Mandi. This is a traditional Arabic dish and it tastes delicious. They don't use a lot of spices or too many masalas, but it's still very flavorful. And it's perfect for my stomach because my stomach has a lot of digestive issues and I can't take too much of spicy food. I picked up this recipe from a YouTuber. The channel is Momtastic by Shamshira and the recipe was amazing. I already did it once before and this is the second time. For this recipe, you need to use a whole chicken that's been cut into 4 pieces. However, I didn't have whole chicken and I had chicken pieces only, and so I had marinated this earlier the previous day. So I've just pulled it out from the fridge now and I'm letting it reach room temperature while I prepare the other ingredients. So here in a pan, I've added some cloves, some cinnamon and some cardamom. Now I'm adding in the fried onions, but I have to tell you that I goofed this step up because I tried to fry the onions in an air fryer and that did not turn out well. Most of the onions got burnt and I had to discard them. Now I'm adding in some raisins and some salt. Make sure that the pan that you are using is oven safe. Since we are going to load this pan in the oven and we are going to expose it to very high temperatures. Make sure your pan is sturdy and strong and not a thin, flimsy one. So here I'm adding in the washed rice. This is long grain basmati rice, and what I've done here is I've soaked this rice in a little bit of turmeric water just to give it that slight yellow tint. This is about 4 cups of rice, and now I'm going to add in the required amount of boiling hot water. The recipe called for 1.5 cups of water for each cup of rice. However, the second time that I tried this recipe, which is today, it did not turn out that great because the rice did not get completely cooked. So I think since I changed the measurement of the number of cups of rice, something somewhere went amiss. So the next time I have decided to try with 2 cups of water for each cup of rice. Next, what you need to do is you need to completely seal the pan. You can do this if you have a proper lid to seal the pan, or you can use aluminum foil, which is what I am doing right now. You can use 2 layers of aluminum foil and then pierce holes like this using a skewer. And then I'm layering the chicken on top of the aluminum foil. If you wish for the chicken pieces to turn very soft instead of getting grilled, then what you do is you cover this again with another layer of aluminum foil, but we prefer it grilled. So I'm just going to place this in the oven at about 200 degrees Celsius for 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes max. So here is the chicken and the rice once it's done. So what you need to do next is you need to remove the chicken pieces off onto a plate. and then remove the aluminium foil. The next important step will be to give this dish a smoke flavor. And to do this, I'm going to place a small bowl of oil in the center of the pan. And then I'll be placing all the chicken pieces around it. And into this bowl of oil, I'll be dropping in a small piece of hot burning coal to release the smoke. Cover the vessel immediately to prevent the smoke from escaping. I'm using 2 layers of aluminium foil. Above the aluminium foil, you can add 2 layers of thick cloth to seal the smoke off completely. You have to leave it this way for about 15 to 20 minutes so that the smoke flavor can set in. This is what gives the mandi its delightful flavor. Here I am serving the mandi with a sauce which is made by grinding tomatoes, coriander leaves, green chili, some vinegar and salt. Mandi tastes just perfect with this sauce. Definitely do give the sauce a try. Now we're about to head out, and before we go, I want to water the plants. Generally, I'm not a person who loves plants. I prefer pets, but unfortunately we don't have the convenience of keeping a pet here where we live, and therefore I decided to have some plants. In my earlier home, I had a lot of plants, but due to the climatic conditions, they were very difficult to maintain and many of them died. After that, I reduced the number of plants that I kept. Look at this little visitor that we have here. She has built a nest and I think she's about to lay eggs. This happened even in my previous balcony. But sometimes I found it difficult to manage because their droppings would make the entire place smell. So I definitely do not prefer having the birds around. But since she's already built a nest, I didn't want to disturb her. So I quickly water the plants. Many of them are not surviving for the summer heat. They look very dry. There's a close-up of the nest. They've built it with a lot of twigs and plastics. It's amazing to watch the birds build because it's not just one bird, but it's 2 birds together, the mother and the father. While the father is busy collecting twigs from wherever possible, the mother makes sure the twigs are put into place and the nest is built firmly and securely to lay her eggs. I watched this many times in my previous balcony and I had a nice time watching. These days I'm too busy, so I don't get a chance. Once the eggs end up hatching, it's fun to watch the baby pigeons. They make some cute noises, and then it's also nice to watch how the mother goes, picks up food and then comes back to feed her little ones till they're good enough to fly on their own. I love nature a lot. However, there's not much of nature that you can see around. This is the view from our balcony. But I still love my balcony a lot, and whenever the weather is good, I make sure to come sit down there along with my kids and enjoy the weather and get a breath of fresh air. I've placed some snacks on the table which we are going to pack now for our trip to Qudra Lake. We're just taking a few packets of chips, juice and some bananas, just in case the kids get hungry. This place is about 1 hour drive from our home. Although it's a lake, it's not a natural lake. It's a lake that's been man-made. But it's still a lovely place to head to if you want a change of scene and you want to escape the city life. And considering today's circumstances where you must social distance, these kinds of places are apt to hang out with your family. Here's a small tip that I thought I'd share with you. This is not my own idea, but someone from church shared this idea with me. What we do is we fold the inner side of the mask and we staple it like this, as I've shown. And what this does is, it creates a nice curve at the center of the mask, making it easier to breathe. And also, this makes sure that the mask securely fits across your face without leaving any gaps. This worked for me and for my kids. However, it did not work for my husband because he has a bigger face. Anyway, now we're off, driving to Qudra Lake. I hope you have fun viewing all the scenes that I've captured for you. This was around 5 p.m. when we started driving towards Qudra Lake. And that's the city skyline for you. One thing that's commonly seen on drives here is these long stretches of desert. Here we are entering Qudra Lake and this is around 6 p.m. Qudra Lake is a massive area containing many water bodies. There are some water bodies that have a lot of birds like ducks and flamingos. However, we avoided getting down at such spots because those spots had quite a bit of crowd. All we wanted to do was stay safe. Therefore, we resorted to driving around for about an hour, enjoying various sceneries. This is the place where we finally set up our chairs to sit down and relax. This was around 7 p.m. This was when we started back home from Qudra Lake. This was about 8:20 p.m. There are no street lights or any kind of lights here, and you have to drive using only your headlights. It's a bit tricky, but it's still fun. There was a long line of cars that were heading towards the exit, so that made it a bit easy for us. All we had to do was follow the car ahead of us, and we were off to the main road. We're almost home now, and once we reach home, we'll have our dinner and then we'll all be off to bed. We're so exhausted. I hope you enjoyed this weekend vlog, and I'll see you soon with another video. Till then, bye everyone.